Good evening. It's Roman Rich. Thanks for joining me tonight for another exciting 66 minutes with Roman Rich. That's right. This is episode number 15. That's pretty impressive. 15 straight episodes talking nothing about Route 66, nothing about Route 66. Here I am messing up already. I hope you missed me last week. I did a pre-recorded session about the Shamrock. I was on vacation with my wife. We had a great little adventure to Arkansas for our wedding anniversary vacation, and I came back a little too soon. Had to come back to a bunch of work and other stuff, but here I am. It's Sunday, the 28th of May, 2023, and I hope all of you out there are having a great weekend. And lest we forget, this is Memorial Day weekend. It's not just about barbecues and family get togethers and things like that. We all should take some time to remember those who have fallen in the line of duty serving the military of the United States. That's what Memorial Day is all about. So we salute you. Um, okay. I don't have much on the agenda today. I was gone for a week. I spent a bunch of time getting that Shamrock video together for all of you viewers out there. And truth be told, I didn't set aside any time to plan out this episode, so it's going to be kind of a free for all. I did post a link in the Route 66 66 Minutes Facebook page for those of you who are interested in coming on tonight and talking about Route 66 with me. I'm going to go ahead and put that QR code up here. And for those of you just tuning in for the first time, we use these little QR codes that you see right here. Those are interactive. If you scan that, it'll take you to a link. This one in particular will put you into this show studio, and I can let you on, and we can talk about Route 66 and anything that's on your mind. You can ask me tips and things like that. Tonight, I'd like to kind of focus on what are your favorite places along Route 66. And so I'm going to go ahead and before I let anybody in, I'm going to go ahead and pop up the chat overlay as well. And that's over here on the other side of your screen. So as you post your comments, they'll appear here on the screen, I hope. And those come in from YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, from wherever you're watching this. This neat little program that we use is supposed to filter all those and put them up on the screen and share them for everybody. So somebody was asking about my finger. Well, that was quite a stir on Facebook. I had posted an image of my finger. They're okay. See, they're all there. Back in 2019, I had literally driven a not sheet metal, sheet rock screw through my finger while working at the Painted Desert Trading Post, and it it nastied my finger up pretty good, tore a big old hole in it. So, but that was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm okay. I recovered just fine. No stitches, no tetanus shot. Manly man. I'll survive. So, thanks for everyone who expressed concern over that. I appreciate it. You got to watch me in my posts sometimes on Facebook. A lot of times I'll post comments about memories and things like that because they're intriguing and compelling to me. And so I'll like them and comment on them. When you do that, Facebook will resurrect those posts for all of your friends and followers to see. And so sometimes you'll think that is happening recently when it could have been years and years and years ago. So pay attention to the dates. And I really appreciate all the concern out there. Something else I want to bring to attention is we had a lot of donors last week, actually the last couple of weeks, and I want to mention those people. We really appreciate that. A lot of people were donating towards the Shamrock fundraisers. We are going to be spending a lot of money on the Shamrock. I touched base on that a little bit in episode 14, the previous episode. By all accounts, we're probably going to have to drop about $250,000 to $350,000 on the Shamrock in the next year to get it operational for 2024. We're hoping, and so my wife and I we're probably going to take out a loan to do that. And so, as much donations as people can provide, we really appreciate it. We do this for the love of Route 66. We do it for the history and the preservation. And most importantly, we do it for the people who are interested in traveling and experiencing Route 66. So I hope you'll donate to that. I'll post a link up here in just a second, but I do want to recognize the people who were donating to our causes, and I'll put that up right now. There's the Shamrock donation QR code. So Jody Banta, she had donated some money. Also had a Carrie Lewis who donated on a quarterly basis. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. So they're going to be contributing on a quarterly basis a certain amount of money. Also, George Hartman, he has been monthly a donor on a monthly basis of the Shamrock. We really appreciate that. Plus, George is just a great guy. He comes down and volunteers all the time at the Shamrock. And if you watch episode number 14, you'll see him and his grandsons that were participating in some cleanup efforts in quite a fun way, creative way. Also, we had Amber Ross, who donated, and David Dahlgren. That was another donor. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. It really, even if it's just a token, it all makes a big difference because it helps reassure everyone involved in the process that we're doing the right thing and everybody's involved. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. What do I want to get into next? Oh, Jim McCain, buddy of mine from way back. He sends me stuff every once in a while. As you may or may not know, the Pony Trust Bridge in near Bridgeport or Calumet, Oklahoma, over the East Canadian River. It's under construction right now, and he sent me this calendar, and it's pretty cool. It's all images about the old Pony Trust Bridge, and Jim's got some really good photography here. So I just want to thank him for that. He's got a lot of good stuff here. You might go check out his website. And does he have a website? I'm sure he does here. He's on Facebook. You can just Google or Facebook Jim McCain. You'll find him. I'll try to post a link in the 66 Minutes Facebook group. And hopefully he has these calendars available. This one's really nice. I love the clouds and the contrast. It's fantastic. So thank you, Jim, for the gift. I really appreciate that. Okay. We got someone who wants me to mention the 66 Kicks Tour or Father's Day weekend concert at the Chandler, Oklahoma, the Route 66 Interpretive Center. And it's a tribute to Oklahoma songwriters. So that should be really cool. That is going to be on June 17th. You could probably just Google 66 Kicks Tour, and Kicks is spelled K-I-X. Okay. I want to move into recent news this last week, and bear with me because I'm running the studio myself today. I thought that because I'm doing freestyle and I didn't know what I was going to be talking about exactly, I gave the two Georges the day off. So if the two Georges are out there watching, thank you. I appreciate what you guys do, and I hope to get you back in here in a couple of weeks. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, that should do it. All right, now I want to cover the most recent issue, which was the storms in Tucumcari. We had a lot of hailstorms in Tucumcari, New Mexico. And as a result, we lost a ton of our neon out there. I mean, it just desecrated the neon there at the Blue Swallow, TP Curios, La Cita. So the New Mexico Route 66 Association is doing a neon drive, neon fundraiser drive, to help put that neon back into shape so that these businesses can get back up on their feet again. Neon's expensive. Let me tell you, folks, every time you break one of these pieces of glass, it costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to replace it and hundreds more to install it. So please donate to that. Again, you can kind of see up in that corner, it says Neon Drive on that QR code. I'll leave that up for most of this episode. And any help that you guys can extend to these businesses in Tuncumcari would be really helpful. They've already raised nearly $1,500, and I believe the GoFundMe's only been up for a couple days. So hit that scan button for your QR code and donate generously. Help our neighbors down in New Mexico. They could really need your help. So, all right, let's move on. We had some other news. Nobody has entered the studio yet. So again, I'll remind you guys, if you'd like to come into the studio, click on that link I showed you earlier. If you can't find it, go to 66 Minutes on Facebook. I posted the link there. Have yourself a good connection to your webcam and the microphone when you come in, and we'll put you on the screen. In recent news, before I get into this, Roamin had her birthday celebration today. I wasn't able to make it down there, but I hope she had a great birthday celebration. And I hope there's good news on the horizon for the Munger Moss and the future of it. Let's all keep Ramona in our prayers and the Munger Moss, because there's still some potential for a hostile takeover of the Munger Moss and by the Dells Corporation. If you don't know much about it, you can read a little bit on Route 66 News, or possibly over at the Lebanon and Clede Route 66 Society page. There's a little bit of information on that, but so far Ramona's in good shape after her last spill, and it seems like the Munger Moss is still doing okay as well. So good news there. Moving on though, the Bill Shea Museum. So that's a neat one, and I got some footage of that I wanted to share with everybody. The Bill Shea Museum was in Springfield, Illinois for many, many, many years. It was probably one of the most popular Route 66 museum destinations on all of Route 66. Bill Shea had operated a gas station for the better part of his career, and he had collected all sorts of Petroliana and roadside attraction memorabilia, and he had it into this museum, which was formerly his gas station. Now, in 2015, there was an auction. Bill had passed. He had died, I believe, in 2014. So the family decided to auction off everything. And what an auction it was. I'd like to maybe share the screen here again and show you what it looked like, because I do have some video. Let me get it pulled up on deck here real quick, though, because I meant to go load it up. And then it wouldn't play well with my studio software. But here, we're going to give it a shot right now. So there's the auction. Pretty busy, pretty cold, pretty wet, pretty miserable. I purchased quite a bit of stuff at that auction, and I still have a bunch of it. So again, I'm navigating very slowly through all the different processes here I have at my disposal, and I'm going to show you some pictures here next. So here's a good image right here. This is what Bill's was all about. I'm going to move the chat out of the way just for a second. Okay, that's Bill's place. And I believe that was maybe prior to the auction or just before the auction got started. And I purchased a lot of stuff, not as much as I'd like to, but like, for instance, this slow stop sign. I actually have this at my home. I got quite a bit of stuff. And so what I learned is this past week, and it was posted on Route 66 News, was that, and I got to switch screens again. This is really slow for me. I apologize. There you go. Wish there was a way to tab in between them. So Ron Warnick at Route 66 News, he reports that the city of Springfield is going to open up Bill Shea's station again, and they've got some sort of a grant in excess of $600,000 to do that. And so that's pretty exciting stuff. I'm really not sure how they're going to replicate it, what they're going to do, because it was basically just a whole entire horde of Petroliana Route 66 roadside stuff. I mean, the man had a prefab gas station that got moved down a couple blocks to Fulgenzi's Pizza Shop, but he just had everything at this place. So I'm kind of excited to see it, mostly because I've got a bunch of stuff here still left over from Shays that I don't really need, and I was holding on to. Some of the stuff I got rid of over the years, but I got quite a few things that ought to go back to that museum, including a sign that I was thinking about selling the last couple of years. Nobody took me up on the offer. I was asking a pretty hefty price tag for it. I was asking $1,500 for that sign. And I think instead of selling it, I'll just donate it back to the museum and put it back where it belongs. And I think that would be the best thing. So that's good. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see Shays is going to have somewhat of a resurrection, because driving by there and seeing that blank spot on the side of the road is just kind of painful. I might be able to show a few more pictures of Shays for those who aren't totally sure what it was all about. I'll turn the chat overlay back on, and let's see here. Before I do that, I want to read. Someone was asking about Michelle's Tumbleweed Grill. I have not heard anything at all, and I could probably reach out to her and see how things were going. I know the pandemic situation really dealt a blow to her. So yeah, I'll turn that chat overlay back on. If you guys want to chat. Don't forget, if you want to join me in studio, I'll pop that link back up, and you guys can pop in here if you like. There you go. Scan it right there. Join me on the show. That'd be cool. And I'm going to see if I can go through some pictures of the Shays station before it was completely descended on upon trophy hunters and collectors and people like me looking for a piece of memorabilia. So I actually own this piece right here. Let me see if I can pop it back up here. Turn that chat overlay off. So this is one of Shay's gas station sign posts, anchors. And what I like about this, it's really hard to tell, but it's got Tom Teague's and Bill Shay's scribes in the concrete on that. And Tom Teague was one heck of a guy. He was an author on Route 66. He passed way too soon. I believe he died of cancer in his mid to late 40s. Yeah, it was very unfortunate. So yeah, this would have been auction day. This was more auction stuff. The man had so much stuff. It was a 2-day auction, and that was even after they had pre-sold a bunch of stuff. The family had pre-sold a bunch of stuff before the main auction. And I believe that's Ron in that picture. It looks like Ron, who owns Motorhead's grill over in Springfield on the south side. This piece right here, this one was cool. Now you can still see this on Route 66, and maybe it'll come back to Shays. So I ended up purchasing this piece, US 66 closed blasting area. Basically, this was just some folk art that Bill and his son had come up with to kind of simulate a road closure on Route 66. This still exists. Now, this is on display over at Rich Henry's Rabbit Ranch. If you go down to Staunton, Illinois, you can see it there. And maybe if Rich Henry learns about this, he'll want to donate it back to the museum. I think it would be really cool to see it there. Here's another piece that I have, this old Pass Gas sign. It's sitting in the back of my shop right now, and I will probably also give that away to the museum as well. So we'll see. Okay, let's keep moving on. My wife is informing me that we have some more donors. Here's some of these tags. These are hilarious. These sexy girl in the bikini tags that Bill Shay used to put on bumpers. He used to sell camper tops and stuff like that. And so this is one of those. I've got a whole stack of these stickers in my shop. And so that'll be really cool too, to see those go back. This piece I still have. That's an old Sinclair oil pump, grease pump. Still works. It's got gear oil in it. It's left a mess all over my floor for the last 7-8 years. There's another example of that piece. It's just, and I've got a couple gas pumps. Actually, that gas pump right there in the middle, the Marathon pump, I actually own that pump right there. And it's, I hate to say it, it's a kind of shabby condition because I left it outside. You know, I wanted to see it outside. It's been outside and now it needs a new paint job. It's looking pretty rough these days. But he had all sorts of cool stuff. A lot of these gas pumps sold for $2,000-3,000 each. It was insane. Somebody on Facebook had reported that Massell had never reopened the cafe there. It's Lily taking a picture of my behind. There's little Lily right there. She helped me move all that stuff. And I think, oh, this one, if Sean Fowler's out there watching anywhere, this will get him going. This is one of those swamp coolers that you'd stick in your window driving down the highway. You'd put cold water or ice water in it, and the air entering in that conical looking tube would circulate cool air into the automobile that was attached to. And I think I picked it up for about $75. They were worth about 600 at the time. And I sold it. I forgot how much I got for it, but the guy got it and he just absolutely loved it. A lot of neat stuff, and that, I don't think it had ever been used. It was still in the box when I got it, so that was pretty interesting. Anyway, there was my display. That was Bill Shea's stuff that I put on display, and I still got a lot of these things, and I think a lot of it will go back because I don't need it. I didn't ever really want it, but I've held on to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I took some artistic photos and stuff. You know, just, you know, you never know when you're going to lose this stuff. You never know when something's going to be leveled or destroyed. Okay, so I'm going to read up on the comments here real quick. Shays, someone wants to know if Shays is in Missouri or Illinois. Shays is in Springfield, Illinois. Illinois is where he was at, and that's where it will be again. There is a picture of that prefabbed gas station I talked about. You could order yourself a little gas station, almost like a shed kit, and they'd send it to you, and you just put it up. This little gas station resides over at Fulgenzi's Pizza Shop, which is just about maybe an eighth of a mile away from Shays to the north. Anyway, okay, a lot of pictures from that event. You can see it didn't take long. This was right after the auction, and they had picked the place clean. All of us purchasers. I did have a friend of mine join me from the Route 66 Association of Missouri. That's Joe Sonderman, and we had a blast out there. It's pretty good time. Pretty good time. Okay. All right. What is going on in Glen Rio, Texas? Somebody's asking. It's a good question, and it was on my list of things to talk about. So you're reading my mind out there. Let's talk about that. Glen Rio, Texas. So I've got a couple of things pulled up here. This is from Blue Miller. She talked about it on the Historic Route 66 Facebook group. She just went and looked at the website for the new marijuana dispensary. They pretty much destroyed all the buildings that they could in Glen Rio that they had access to, what it sounds like. Let's see if I can pop a picture up here, maybe. Yes. Okay. So, and I'll share this screen here. There it is. That's our lovely new dispensary that we just had to have in, of all places, the middle of nowhere, Glen Rio, New Mexico / Texas. Not that I have anything against what people spend their money on, but there's nothing there. There's nothing but a vast array of high plains desert almost. Why they had to go and destroy historic buildings to put this up just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Zero, makes no sense. So many things they could have done there, and kept the old buildings. Nick Gerlich looks like he posted a video. Let's see if I can get it to pop up. Let's go bigger. Oh yeah, they wiped everything out. Look at that. That is horrific. There's the old post office to your right. That is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Folks, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Take lots of pictures while you can. You just never know when this stuff is going to vanish. And just to the east of this, I'm sure Nick is going to show us the Longhorn, which, yep, there it is coming into frame now. Somebody was going to put an RV park / hotel there. They ripped all the roofs off the buildings. I'm going to pause that. Oh, maybe not. I'm going to go back. Right there, I want to pause that. They ripped all the roofs off this building. And here, I'm not even showing it to you. Let's see here if I can get it to pop up again. I wasn't paying attention. I apologize, everybody. Let's play it again. Okay, I'm going to rewind it. Okay, so there it is. There's nothing left pretty much on the New Mexico side of things in Glen Rio. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. The only that's left there is the post office now. They had all these neat old buildings, old gas stations, and they just tore them all down. And as Nick is showing us in this video, there's a few buildings left. Someone's graffitied the post office up. I wish they'd knock that stuff off. And then we're going to see the last Longhorn. He's crossing into Texas now. And then there's the Longhorn Cafe Motel right there. And this has been almost a year and a half ago now where they tore the roof off of that and tore the roof off the motel, and they were going to do something to do this and do that, and they've done nothing. It doesn't seem like, except for pulled all their equipment out. I don't know what's happening with Glen Rio, but it's sad to see it in this state. It's been sad over the last 15, 20 years to see it in the state that it was in. The RV park situation, motel, I can get behind that if they do it, if they finish it. I will get behind and share in the ambition for that project. But a dispensary where they wipe out everything that was known to be historic, I will never get behind that. And I encourage you all, I don't know what you indulge in your private lives, that's up to you. But if you decide to partake in those activities, I would urge you to get your supplies someplace else rather than this place in Glen Rio. Just really sad. Okay. Let's see. Somebody says I'll be going through there tomorrow. If you do go through there, do us all a favor and post some pictures in the 66 Minutes Facebook group page. We'd like to see what's going on there. We don't want to see this kind of destruction, but we want to be informed. So yeah, if you would let us know, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, let's see if I can get out of this. Okay. All right, let's see here. Yeah, let's see. I wonder what happened to the gas station sign from the Odell Historic Station. Bill had it in the station. Apparently, anybody know? That's probably gone. Dave Sullivan was asking on the chat. Let me bring that chat back up again too. Yeah, I don't know. It's been 7-8 years ago since that auction, so I don't know what happened to most of it. I know a lot of it ended up over at Motorheads, which wasn't a bad place for it to go to. We're talking about Bill Shea's place again. Anyway, let's see here. Nobody is deciding to join me today. That is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants to join me. Oh, okay. So let's move on to the picture of the week. We can do that, can't we? Let's do that. This goes back to what we talked about earlier in the show, which is about the hailstorms in New Mexico. Let's see here. Right there. Come on, open up. Okay. Every time I do this, I need to take me away or take the chat away. Let's see here. Okay, so this is Elmer Teodoro, and he has a lot of great images of Tucumcari area before the hailstorm. And this is the TP Curios. This is the Blue Swallow, of course. Everybody knows that one. This is the Safari, which doesn't have any neon yet, but I'm pretty sure Larry will get there here soon. He does have a little bit of neon on the outside of the sign. The Palomino, brilliant sign, fantastic looking sign, neat place. And yep, you can see Larry's little bit of neon outline on his Motel Safari sign there. There's the Blue Swallow again. All very good, whimsical images. I appreciate those, Elmer. I'm going to kind of scan through here and look for other ones that I like because I was gone for a week. The Riviera, that's a good one. That was a neat place that I decided to stop at a couple times because I just wasn't sure, even in my earliest days of exploring, how long it would be there. And sure as can be, it wasn't but just about 6 or 8 months after I'd visited there that it burned down. And if I can manage to get into my files and find you an image of that, I will share those with you. I think I've shared them in one of my other episodes, but that's a good one. Tucumcari again. This is the Ranch House Cafe. Neat photo opportunity. Even cooler would be to see that sign restored. Maybe, just maybe, if the New Mexico Route 66 Association can raise funds to in excess of $100,000, maybe they could approach the owner of this one and get this one restored on site. It would really be a nice addition to see that resurrected and be made new again. Well, maybe not new, but light it up. I kind of like things with patina. I like old stuff. So that's a great image. That's from Paula Noel Carnes. She's quite the contributor. And let's see here, what else we got? Gary Daly, he's got one too, also from TP Curios. People seem to like this perspective. That's a good one too. It's a nice shot. Okay. Oh, someone says the QR code is sent in the wrong place. Well, let me change that. I apologize if I'm messing with anybody here on the QR code situation. Let me edit that real quick. And let's see here. I apologize. Didn't even think about that. Okay, I changed it. New QR code up there in the corner. So if you were trying to join, click on that QR code now. Maybe it'll let you in. So yeah, I hope to see you in here in a little bit because I'm running out of things to talk about. But let's see. So that was your picks of the week. I don't really have much in the way of a tip of the week other than, consider donating. That's a good tip. If you want to keep seeing these places, if you want your kids to be able to see these places, you want your grandkids to be able to see these places, then we got to keep them alive. And running a business on Route 66 is not lucrative in any sense. It's very costly. And whenever these people need help, I think we should give them some help. I've often caught myself saying that if every Route 66 enthusiast in the world decided to give $5 a piece to these little fundraisers, we'd have no problem saving any of these places. So that would be my tip of the week: is please donate to those causes that kind of resonate with you and that you find compelling and near to your heart. It means a lot to everybody. Those contributions, they just resonate for years and years and years. I know if it wasn't for the help of the community, that the Shamrock wouldn't be anywhere near where it is today. And I've got myself somebody here in the studio. I'm going to let him in. I just talked about him. Gary Daly. Is it Daly or Dally?
It's Daly. I got that same issue going again. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Daly or Dally? It's Daly. I got that same issue.
You have to turn it down a little bit. Yep.
It's Daly.
Yeah, you'll want to turn it down or it's going to keep echoing, Gary.
How's that?
Yeah, you want to turn it down. Turn your speakers down just a little bit more.
How's that?
Turn your speakers down just a little bit more. We're going to be listening to this all night.
I sometimes not real.
So how's it going, Gary? Oh, now you're muted somehow. I didn't mute you. You muted you.
Yeah, I muted myself. Sorry.
It's okay. How's it going?
Doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just getting ready to go on a little trip, taking 5 dogs down to Palm Springs, and then I'm going to go across to Cindy and Debbie over in Seligman. I apologize. Give me just 1 second. You want to chat there for a minute? Let me get this figured out.
Yeah, I'm gonna close you down for the moment here, and I'll be right back. Okay, he's gonna get his audio straightened out. Let me bring up some images of the Riviera, because I touched on that, and that is just one of the places where I feel so very fortunate to have been a part of that. I met with Bob the Craft, the last guy to run that place. Hopefully my server here will pull up the images. Well, okay, we'll start off with this anyway. Get this popped up. Maybe not. Switch screens. Okay, I'm doing the best I can here. It's not going to blow up much bigger than that. That's one image. Oh, it's tiny. The Riviera was a place there near Braidwood, Illinois, and I forgot. I failed to remember who the original proprietor was, but the man who built the place had moved buildings from nearby to make this place on 66, and it was a speakeasy at one time. It was rumored that Al Capone and his cohorts used to frequent the place. There was gambling and illegal booze and stuff in the basement, and so what a neat place. And I'm going to try at some point here. I was going to try to bring up images from my trips, but I have to go find them. It takes you a little bit to do that. So I'm going to bring Gary back in, see if he's got his stuff fixed up. Okay, how's it going, Gary?
Doing well. My computer decided it wanted to open this thing on another web page and on another web.
Oh, that's where you're getting the echo from. Okay,
yeah,
makes sense.
On Google with the Internet Explorer, so I had two of them going at the same time. So,
okay, got it all figured out then.
Yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm just gonna get some stuff ready. I'm taking 5 dogs down to Palm Springs, California, and then on the way back, I'm gonna head up through that little back route through Amboy and hit Roy's. Actually, I might be able to even hit Roy's at night and get some shots of the neon.
That would be cool. That's
a trip down for the dogs.
That's a treat. You get to see Roy's at nighttime.
I know. I've tried to plan that so many times and never had the luck of making it there at night. So yeah, now we're gonna go across over to Seligman and check in with Debbie and Bruce at the Roadkill and that kind of thing. Get to see Cindy at the Jackrabbit, of course, and going over to Tucumcari. I'm gonna give him a hand over there at the Blue Swallow. Try to clean some things up over there and that kind of thing, and just do lend a hand whatever I can. I've got an extra week or so. I can go over there and lend a hand. So
that's very helpful, Gary. That's anytime someone can get out and do boots on the ground, that's very admirable. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could contribute more money, but I have a lot more time than I have money, and so a lot of times I think time, about volunteering your time is a lot more valuable. You can always make a lot more money, but you can't make time. And when you have time to give to somebody, then it means a lot. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's I value both. The people that actually come on out and they pick up a hammer or a paintbrush or a shovel. Yes. That means every bit as much as someone who writes the check.
Absolutely, and you need both. You need both, but some people can't contribute the money, and some people aren't able to do the help, and so it works great both ways. I'm more on the helping side. Wish I had more money to give, but we all know how that goes.
Yeah. So how long are you gonna be gone for, you think?
I have a little obligation here in June 13th, so I'm gonna come back, but I think I'm gonna turn right around and go back to Tucumcari for Rawhide Days. That's always a fun time down there. They always have the steer or the cattle going down, in the parade, and it's always a good time. It's fun. Tucumcari is a really, really nice town. Enjoy the people.
I've never got a chance to catch Rawhide Days, or used to call it Rockabilly. I never had a chance to catch any of those festivals. They're always in my busy time of the year when those are going on. But what's your favorite place on Route 66, Gary?
There are a couple. I have to actually, if I was to narrow it down, I would have to say Cindy and Tony at the Jackrabbit, just because that's they're the first people that I actually met, owners and stuff. Before that, I was just seeing the attractions, and I two guns and twin arrows and stuff, and then I stopped in and I talked to the Cindy, and then that's when it clicked that it's not always about the attractions; it's about the people you meet on the road, talking to the owners. You just can really get a really neat, what I'm trying to say, really neat insight, and you get to meet people, and you get to learn about people, and you learn a lot more about people are just really trying to do their own thing, and they just want to have fun, and generally on Route 66, people out there having fun anyway, so not everybody you run into is very happy, but it's neat to talk to people. I guess what I'm trying to say, when they're out of their element, when you're in the city, your job, you're trying to hustle and bustle and everything, you don't really get a chance to stop and talk to people. But when you're on the route there, I don't think I've met too many people that I haven't wanted to talk to.
That's good. That's
really, I think that, to me, the people probably would be the best attraction overall. And I have to give, obviously Blue Swallow, the TP, Debbie and Bruce, and at the Roadkill. Most of my concentration so far on the route have been on the west portion. Other than that portion that when I came to see you guys in Missouri, that was a really neat section as well. But no, I think I said this last time. I don't think there really is a bad place to stop on Route 66, and just about everyone is a favorite. So
yeah, there's something for everybody. For some people, it's about kind of kindling those relationships and getting to know people from across the country, or in many respects from across the world, because a lot of people are coming from abroad. And for others, it's about finding that lost piece of slab of concrete or road. For some people, it's retracing and finding the old buildings and businesses, or experiencing the new thing on Route 66, like Buck Adams or Uranus or something like that. There's something for everybody. That's kind of the neat thing. It's always evolving, and the history's always there, and the people are always there.
I've been fortunate, and I've got to spend a fair amount of time in Tucumcari, and I've run into a lot of experiences, and I kind of it's different, but in a way it's kind of like a father-son going to a baseball game, in a sense. I'm seeing a lot of youngsters that are starting to get into their teens and 20s, and they remember the Cars movie and watching it with their dad or whatever, and then they either hit the road by themselves or they're traveling with their family. So I'm seeing a lot more Cars fans actually going along the road, which is really cool. A lot of younger folks, and so that's really neat to see, I think. So
yeah, I see it too. We got a lot more domestic travelers running up and down Route 66 now, and it's funny because a lot of the people I talk with, who live here in the States, and we'll talk about Route 66, and I'll say, oh, I'm going to go meet somebody from Australia or Japan. And they'll be like, wow, that's really crazy. And I'm like, oh no, that's up until the pandemic, that was the norm.
Right.
Most of your travelers were from outside of this country. So it wasn't until recently that a lot of the domestic tourists discovered it.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I've been noticing a fair amount of mostly a lot of Brits. That's what I've been seeing, and I know that Czech motorcycle group came through, and so it looks like there's a lot more people coming through from overseas as well, coming back again. So,
well, earlier this month they lifted the requirement for people to have vaccinations to travel here, so we're going to see a lot more people now that that's over with.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to dig up pictures of the Riviera while we were talking here, and I just cannot find it. I don't put my glasses on when I'm on camera. I can't hardly see anything. So I I can't find these pictures.
I took mine off and I had to put them back on because I couldn't see the thing that I was thing I was doing. So
anyway, well, Gary, I wish you good travels on your trip, man, and thanks
awesome.
for chiming in. Thanks for contributing to the pictures. We are going to have that Shamrock work session here in a couple of weeks on the 12th of June. Are you going to be around to make it down there at all?
I wish I could. I'm going to be, like I said, I'll be down in Tucumcari. I got an obligation on the 13th, and then probably back to Tucumcari for Rawhide
days.
Okay,
well, that's good, man.
Yeah, it's still, ironically enough, it's still about 10 or 12 hours to Sullivan from Tucumcari. So
that's a haul, man. That's one heck of a haul.
Yeah, I feel fortunate that Denver's only about 6 hours from Tucumcari, and it's actually shorter there than it is to Albuquerque. So, and that's one of my favorite towns along the route. That Seligman, there's a bunch of different towns, but so I'm fortunate at least they get one of my favorite towns is very close to me. I mean, even Gearhead Curios from Tucumcari. I thought one day, well, I'll just see how far it's 8 hours to Galena. So, which is, is a day drive, but I like a little bit my driving is, a little bit less than that if I can. But
well, you have a safe trip, man, and send lots of pictures. We love seeing them, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. I'll holler at you later, man.
Thanks again. Yeah, good talking to you. Oh, one little note. You were you were given the tip of the week last week for rattlesnakes and that kind of thing. That is, I did step on a baby rattle. I know I've told you about that, and I pulled my foot back just in time, and I could have really been in a world of hurt. But there's another thing that it's not so prevalent, but people might also want to be aware of when they're exploring, especially like in New Mexico, Arizona, is that there are mountain lion out there as well. We were walking along and found a huge cat print, and so it's something to be aware of out there. I don't want to scare anybody off from exploring because I really love it. But I'll go. But you just have to be aware sometimes of your surroundings and that kind of thing. So
yeah, I agree.
But anyway, I'll sign off and
all right. Thanks, Gary. We'll talk soon, man.
Absolutely. Take care, Rich.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, Gary's right. You got to watch out for those rattlesnakes. 'Tis the season. It's not quite June yet, but it may as well be. And I know out there in the desert, it's plenty warm enough for those rattlesnakes to be out there moving around and doing stuff. So if you do decide to go out into the wild and you decide to leave the trail or the road, because sometimes Route 66 is just a trail through some of these areas. Don't do it unless you're wearing snake boots or what they call chaps, snake chaps. If you get bit by a rattlesnake, you're in big trouble. And he also mentioned mountain lions, big cats. Yeah, they are out there, and it's one of the reasons why the Route 66 Co-op, which is the group that I'm a part of that owns the trading post out near Chambers, Arizona, the Route 66 Painted Desert Trading Post. We don't allow overnight camping there for that reason, because there's a lot of mountain lions that come through there. We've never seen one in person during the day, but I'm pretty sure they're out there at nighttime. I've seen their prints and stuff out there on multiple occasions. So yeah, just be aware of your surroundings, especially you get off to New Mexico and Arizona, because you're in remote areas at that point, and getting help could be a matter of an hour or more away. So just think about that. Someone's asking me about digging out the underpass in Odell, Illinois. That's Brandon's asking about that. I'd like to be able to bring that up. I'll see if I can pull that up here at some point while I'm talking, though. So the underpass is one of these like little subway tunnels that goes underneath the road. And you see several of them on Route 66. I believe there's 3 of them in Oklahoma. Sorry. And I think there's 2 or 3 in Illinois. Most people don't know about the one that's not in Odell. Most people know about the one that's in Odell. There's another one over in Venice, Illinois, and it's not buried. The one in Odell is buried. I'm trying to find images, and all my geotag stuff isn't popping up like it normally would. That's going to fall into the same category. I haven't taken any pictures of that underpass in years. I mean, they're not showing up in my geotag photos, but basically that little subway, the underpass, goes underneath the road so that pedestrians can safely get from one side of the street to the other without having to pass through traffic. That's how busy the little town of Odell once was. It had an underpass subway. And so we were joking around talking about going out there and digging it back up again. But I think, if I'm not corrected, and I need to get him on the show one day, John Weiss, I think they made an attempt to exhume that, to basically excavate that and to pull that dirt and stuff out. But I believe they found concrete. Now, that wouldn't necessarily deter me. If I found concrete, I would probably be led to believe that it was just 6 or 8 inches thick towards the top, and I'd want to break through it and see if I can get down deeper. If they excavated all the different passageways and the pyramids and stuff in Egypt and the Mayan temples and stuff in Mexico, surely we could excavate a little subway that goes from one side of the street to the other. But we have to get John Weiss on here one time. Maybe he could shed some light on that and explain to us what they found, and maybe that'll help in our future endeavors for our ambitions to do something like that. Let's see here, looking for other comments. I don't see anything. Kind of a slow night. We're 52 minutes in. One thing I missed, though, I didn't talk about the shirt of the week, and this is an old one I'm wearing. This is the Route 66 Motor Palace. This comes from an individual, a fella named Brian Law, and he owns a little place just off the corner in Winslow, Arizona, called Motor Palace. And he's a big motorcycle guy. So if you're into motorcycles, maybe you can check him out, Brian Law. And this is a great shirt. I've had this for probably 7 or 8 years, I think, when he gave it to me. And it's a made in the USA shirt, if you can believe that. Made in the USA out of organic cotton. And I've kept this shirt around. It's very comfortable. I like it a lot. So I told Brian thanks years ago for it. But again, Brian, thanks for the shirt, man. Appreciate it. Elizabeth wants me to mention the motor tour and post the correct registration link. I think I know what she's talking about. See if that's it. Is that the one? Someone click on it and find out. Tell me if that's the right one. If you can click on that, or you can just do it the old way. Go to Missouri66.org and then search under events. That's where you'll find this little motor tour right here. And I'm going to be there. All my friends are going to be there. I've talked to a lot of people that have planned on going to this event. It's going to be a great time. If you've never been to a motor tour, you got to go to this one. And once you go to this one, you're going to want to go to all the different motor tours, because it is just a ton of fun. Lots of great stuff. Lots of great stuff. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about favorite places on Route 66, and we got into Bill Shays, talked a little bit about the Munger Moss, talked about Glen Rio. These are all great places. Another one of my favorite places is La Bajada in New Mexico. It's not necessarily a building or a business. It's just a landscape is all it is. And it's been relatively unchanged for, I don't know, the last several hundred years. So it's pretty cool to go out there and fantasize about the different travelers, both pre-vehicle, motor-driven vehicle. And we're talking conquistadors, we're talking Native Americans, we're talking about anybody who traveled out west, went through the La Bajada escarpment. It's just steeped in history, and it's just neat that you can go out there and it still looks the same as it always has. I just love that place. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to talk about out there? Let's see here. One of the users is talking about the motor tour. Thank you. Let's see here. Wants to pick my knowledge on a subject. There's a section right near Funks Grove, Missouri. Well, Funks Grove is in Illinois. It's not in Missouri. Funks Grove, there is a section of old Route 66 just north or east of Funks Grove, and maybe I can bring it up on a map. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Let's throw Roman Rich a curveball here. I will try to find this section, Funks Grove, Illinois. Now, the real bummer about this place is that this section of 66, if I can find it, used to be concrete, and then the county came in and tore it out. I found it just for you. I found it. Now I just got to get it up on the screen, don't I? Let's see here. I'm going to take away that QR code. Nope, not that one. Let's see here. This one. And then we're going to pop up the screen here. Okay. I'm going to just close out the chat for a moment, everybody. Bear with me. Okay. Now this is Funks Grove. Maybe let's get away from the satellite for a moment. So if you don't know what Funks Grove is, pretty easy. Just Google it, Funks Grove. It's home of the maple syrup place where they actually go through and they drive nails into the trees and they siphon syrup out of the trees, from the maple trees there. There's a section of Route 66 that used to go through here. It's been since destroyed, and it'll be kind of difficult for me to show it here on the screen, but this is what they're calling Route 66 through here on this big stretch. Here is Funks Grove. Okay, follow me? This little road right here, this guy, this is an early alignment of Route 66. And up until 2010, this was concrete. This was all concrete through here. And some genius at the county decided, we don't want this concrete here anymore. Let's dig it all up and then throw it in this creek right here. So that's what they did. They dug it up. They threw it in the creek. So it's all gravel road here now. Now they paved over this section. Let's go into Street View, see if there's anything there. There's not. No Street View, unfortunately. But this section of 66 continues to the north here, to the east. This is it right through here, right through the trees. You probably didn't know that. Some of you might have, but this little section keeps on going. For the next video, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to try to bring this up for y'all. We talked a lot about Illinois today. So when I get into the next video, we'll talk about the Riviera a little bit, and we'll talk about Funks Grove section. And I've actually got video of this section through here. And Route 66, I can't pinpoint it here because of the satellite, but somewhere in this neighborhood, I think it was probably right in this area, 66 crossed back over on a bridge. And believe it or not, there is still bridge remains there in that creek, some twisted rebar and portions of old bridge piers. But this is old original Route 66 right through here. Now today, if you drive down there, it looks like somebody's driveway because it is. But I went ahead, I didn't see any no trespassing signs. So at the time, and this is going back 14 years ago, I went ahead and decided to drive on down it, and I videotaped it. So I will bring that up. I promise you next time for the next show, I'll bring it up. Speaking of next show, it's going to be a pre-recorded show. I'm going on another little family trip next week, this next weekend. But still, same time, same place, 7 o'clock on Sundays. You can catch us every week. And I will definitely talk about the Riviera and Funks Grove, missing alignment, orphaned alignment here. Let's see if there's anything else I missed. Let's see here. That was the section I was talking about, the person said. So you're welcome. I hope that answered your question. Any history on the old Coble's Place station near Fox, Oklahoma? I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a little gas station there on the corner of modern 66. And most people don't know this, but there's an old section of 66 through there too. May as well see if I can pop it up. I don't know much about it. I know it's a neat old gas station. I know that for sure. And oh, you can't even see it on the satellite. I don't even know if it's worth bringing up here. Maybe I can get it on Street View. It just looks like a mess of trees. I'll try it anyway, just for the sake of the viewers here. So we're going to go ahead and share the screen again. Okay, this is Coble's Place in Foss, Oklahoma. You've got two different alignments of 66 here. You can just barely see a little gas station in here. It's a neat place. It's been there a long time. I got a lot of good pictures of it. It's right here at this corner. So when I was saying it was at the corner of an old section of 66, make sure I'm not wrong here. Yeah, no. So this little section here, right through here, is an old section of 66, I believe. Yeah, in fact, there's some old pavement right through here. I'm going by memory. You can kind of see the swath that it took through here. Right through here, you can kind of see a little dead patch. And then it lines back up with this road right through here. I believe that's an old section of 66. I have to check my map. But this here, this is what most people are going to drive. This is the old concrete section of 66. This is what people are coming to enjoy. I don't know much about it, though. You know, Scott Sheehan, he was one of the first couple of interviews I had here on the show, I think episode 2 or 3. And he's been trying to dig up stuff on all sorts of things. And Blue Miller, I've been trying to get her to come on the show too. She seems to know history on every single place that ever existed on Route 66. So maybe you guys out there could maybe give her a nudge and she'll come up on the show. I would love to have her on and talk to her about all the vast information she has, because that's one thing I'm not great at. I don't know a lot of the backstory or history on these places. I just know they kind of exist. So I apologize if I didn't get your question answered properly. Okay, so we're into it for another 3 or 4 minutes here. Just want to mention that please check out the Neon Drive right there. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Scan that. Help out our friends in Tucumcari, New Mexico. They really need our help. They've been here for us all these years to help shine the light for the travelers with their neon, their beautiful artistic neon they have down there. Tucumcari is like one of the best neon places on all Route 66. So give them a hand, donate generously, and share that donation link too, if you would. If you donate, share it back in Facebook or send it in an email or a text message to your friends and try to get the word out. They need our help down there in Tucumcari. Any other questions out there before I sign off? Let's see. Is my sign still in La Bajada? That's a question. You know, that's another one I'll bring up for next week, being that I talked about it, but I didn't show it. La Bajada. So back almost 10 years ago, I resurrected a very famous sign, and I'll see if I can pop that up here. I know I will have access to that before we leave. So I had a sign hand painted and put out there. I actually put it out there. I got in trouble for doing it. It's the only time I've gotten in trouble for doing anything on Route 66 that I shouldn't be doing. Not that I haven't done stuff before that I shouldn't have been doing, but it's the only time I got in trouble. This sign, where is it at? Oh, that's a beautiful one right there. Let's pop that up. This is the sign that they're talking about. Let's see, right there. That's the sign that we're talking about. So, yeah, that sign does not exist out there anymore. That sign now exists in the Route 66 Museum in Tucumcari, New Mexico. So I got in trouble for putting that sign out there. I went through a lot of work to put that sign out there. I spent a lot of time building that frame, and I built it in such a way where someone couldn't easily steal the sign. And then I spent many trips going back and forth from Santa Fe to this remote section of La Bajada to bring water and concrete out, and it took like 25 bags of concrete to mix up the piers for that sign. And then the National Forest came out and cut the sign down and issued me a ticket for erecting a sign on federal property. So don't do that. But the sign's still around. If you want to see the sign, it's in the museum there in Tucumcari. I'll talk more about that. Thank you for the ideas. I'll talk more about that in the next episode. Any possibility of getting Jerry McClanahan on a future episode to talk about the latest edition of the Easy Guide? I think that is a fantastic idea, and I think Jerry would probably go along with that too. Just got to make sure that his video and microphone is up to the task. And one of these days, I would like to get Jim Ross and Jerry McClanahan together on an episode, and we can talk about their old series that they put out. It was an old VHS series called Bones of the Old Road. I think it would be cool to highlight segments of that video and talk about it together here online. I think y'all would enjoy that. So, all right, I'm at 106 minutes. So thank you, everyone. Subscribe, share. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that little bell button. I would appreciate that. Sharing is caring, and sharing more than anything motivates me to keep doing these little videos. And I hope you find them entertaining. I'm willing to hear all of your ideas, anything that you have, send them my way. If you want to get it in front of me, you can send it in a message or on Facebook, or you can get on the Facebook 66 Minutes, or send me a message on YouTube or anywhere else you see this. I'll find it eventually. So, all right, everyone. As always, go your own way. Be safe out there. I'll see you guys later on down the road.